The night sky is shifting. Two great forces are about to meet: Venus, the heart's magnet, and Jupiter, the giant of expansion. This is no ordinary alignment. It is a rare conversation between love and growth, beauty and truth. Such moments in the heavens have always stirred people to look deeper, to ask why certain relationships bloom while others fade, why love sometimes feels like a blessing and at other times a test. In the Shaolin tradition, before stepping into the arena, the warrior first stills his breath, because the way you enter a moment decides how the moment shapes you. This conjunction is a cosmic stir, but it will not decide your fate. Your inner stillness will. That stillness can turn restlessness into clarity, attraction into depth, and longing into a grounded presence that draws the right people to you. Most will watch the sky tomorrow and see only two bright points moving closer, but there is more. Ancient observers saw in these alignments a mirror of the human heart, reminding us that the forces above are also within us. When Venus and Jupiter meet, they invite a choice: to be carried away by the rush or to walk into it with discipline and grace. In this video, you will learn 8 powerful principles that will not only prepare you for this rare meeting in the heavens, but can transform the way you give and receive love forever. These are not just teachings about relationships, they are lessons in self-mastery, drawn from the same roots that have guided Shaolin warriors for centuries. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If you seek not just love, but a deeper way of living it, stay until the very end. And if our path speaks to your heart, subscribe and walk this journey with us. A river that swells without a guiding bank will flood the land. A bank without flowing water will dry and crack. This is how yin and yang work, each incomplete without the other, each distorted when one overpowers. Jupiter is the river, it is the great expander, the force that magnifies whatever it touches. Venus is the bank, shaping the flow with attraction, with beauty, with the pull of the heart. When these two meet, the question is not whether something will grow, but whether it will grow in the right direction. In Shaolin, balance is not a concept, it is a lived discipline. Yin is your inner world, your principles, your values, your quiet truth. Yang is your outer movement, your choices, your actions, your reach into the world. If your yin is clouded, if you do not know what you truly stand for, your yang becomes aimless, chasing every spark of desire without knowing why. But when yin is steady, yang becomes a precise arrow. Desire aligns with purpose, attraction turns into harmony. I have seen many who try to build love only from the outside, through charm, through appearance, through the performance of connection. It is like painting over a cracked wall. The surface may shine for a while, but the fracture beneath will widen. True attraction begins when the inside and the outside are not at war. During the days of training, when the body ached and the mind resisted, my master would say, when your breath and your step agree, the world moves with you. This is the same for love. Let Jupiter's expansion match the space your heart is ready to hold. Let Venus's pull reflect the beauty already alive within you. Then the meeting of yin and yang becomes inevitable and unshakable. There is a discipline in setting your course and an equal discipline in releasing it. Both are necessary. Without intention, you drift. Without release, you cling, and clinging strangles what it tries to hold. The sky may offer its rare alignment tomorrow. Venus and Jupiter will share the same stage, their energies blending in ways that astrologers speak of with excitement. But these patterns above are only invitations. They cannot walk for you. The real movement happens when you choose your direction with clarity, then step back and let the path unfold. Ancient practitioners understood this. Archers in old China would draw the bow with full focus, their breath measured, their stance unshaken. But once the arrow left the string, they no longer chased it with their eyes or cursed the wind. The shot was given to the world. This is how life responds to intention, when it is free from the hunger to control every outcome. In relationships, this principle is no different. You can decide the kind of love you wish to nurture. You can prepare yourself to meet it by refining your mind, strengthening your spirit, and clearing the weight of past wounds. That is your part. But when the moment arrives, when the connection appears, you must let it be what it is. Press too hard, and you bend it out of shape. The art is to act with your full heart and then release with a steady breath. This is not passivity, it is mastery. It is knowing the limits of force and the power of surrender. The heavens may draw closer tomorrow, but the deeper change comes from how you meet each moment with intention, without chains. A distracted mind cannot truly touch what is in front of it. You may hear words but miss their meaning, hold someone's hand but never feel its warmth. Presence is more than being in the same place, it is giving your whole self to this exact moment. In Shaolin training, awareness begins with the breath. Each inhale is a return, each exhale a release. No movement is rushed, no step is taken without knowing the ground beneath it. This discipline is not just for combat, it is a way of living. When you breathe with awareness, you anchor yourself in reality, and the noise of wandering thoughts begins to fade. In love, this awareness is a rare gift. Too often, we are lost in stories, memories of the past, fears of the future, imagined meanings that cloud what is actually here. You may think you are listening to your partner, but in truth, you are listening to your own thoughts about them. You may believe you are connecting, but the connection is with an image, not the person before you. There is an old teaching. When drinking tea, only drink tea. It sounds simple, but it is the root of deep connection. When you are with your partner, only be with your partner. Feel their voice, their presence, the space you share. When you are with yourself, only be with yourself. Feel your breath, your body, your thoughts as they rise and pass. Presence does not mean perfection, it means returning, again and again to the moment you are in. Each time you notice your mind drifting and gently bring it back, you strengthen your ability to love with depth. Because true love, like true training, can only happen here, now. When a great bell is struck, its sound travels far beyond the temple walls. Jupiter is such a bell, it amplifies whatever it touches. If the note it strikes within you is fear, fear will spread. If it is kindness, kindness will echo through every corner of your life. In Shaolin, strength is not measured only by the force of a blow or the endurance of the body. True strength is found in the ability to act with compassion even when the world does not invite it. A fighter who can harm is powerful. A fighter who chooses not to harm is unshakable. The conjunction of Venus and Jupiter offers an opening for expansion. Many will think first of expanding desire, ambition, or charm. But the deeper path is to expand kindness, not as a performance for others, but as a way of being that begins at the root within yourself. Self-compassion is the soil from which all other compassion grows. If you push yourself with harshness, if you speak to yourself in the language of blame, that tone will seep into the way you love others. But when you meet your own flaws with patience, when you forgive yourself for past missteps, you create a field where trust and tenderness can grow. There is an old story of a monk who carried water each morning up a steep mountain. His bucket had a crack, and each day water spilled along the path. Years later, flowers bloomed where the drops had fallen. What you see as your cracks may be the very source of someone else's joy, if you allow them to be touched by your kindness. Let this celestial meeting be your reminder. The strongest love begins with the gentlest heart. A storm can rise suddenly on a calm sea. One moment the water is glass, the next it is all waves and wind. Emotions move in the same way, swift, unpredictable, and often stronger than reason. Passion, jealousy, insecurity. They can sweep in before you even name them. In Shaolin practice, the first command in such moments is simple: breathe. Not the shallow, rapid breath of panic, but the slow, steady rhythm that anchors the body and clears the mind. Breath is the bridge between feeling and choice. When it is steady, the mind finds space to decide, rather than be dragged by impulse. During intense training, when exhaustion blurred thought and pain clouded focus, students were taught to return to breath before moving again. This pause was not weakness, it was mastery. It turned raw emotion into controlled action. The same principle works beyond the training hall. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction may stir strong currents in relationships, passion that burns too hot, or doubts that whisper too loudly. In these moments, the untrained mind reacts. It speaks before thinking, acts before understanding, and later regrets the harm done. The trained mind breathes first. Breathing through an emotional surge is not about suppressing what you feel. It is about giving those feelings room to pass without letting them take the wheel. like a pot taken off the flame. The boil subsides when the heat is managed. When you breathe deeply in the middle of conflict, you claim the power to choose your next step, and in love that choice often means the difference between building trust and breaking it. In the space created by a single calm breath, an entire future can change course. In the monastery, there are mornings when the body feels heavy, the mind restless, and progress invisible. Yet the monks train, they rise before the sun, step onto the cold floor, and move through the same forms they practiced the day before. Not because they expect a sudden breakthrough, but because the discipline itself shapes them. Love asks for the same commitment. It is not a single moment of passion, nor a grand gesture meant to secure its place forever. It is a daily tending, like a garden that will wither without care. Even in quiet seasons, when nothing seems to be changing, your presence and effort feed its roots. Cosmic alignments can open doors, but what you bring through those doors is yours alone. A rare meeting of Venus and Jupiter may inspire connection, spark new beginnings, or deepen bonds, but without the inner strength to nurture what you receive, the moment fades as quickly as it arrives. In ancient traditions, mastery was never measured by quick gains. A swordsman who practiced only when motivated would remain a novice. The master trained in the same breath, whether progress was visible or not, knowing each repetition was part of a larger shaping. The same is true in relationships. There will be days of joy and flow, and days of misunderstanding or distance. The real mastery is in showing up for both with steady heart and disciplined care. Love, like skill, is a living practice. Its beauty is not in a single perfect moment, but in the strength built over countless imperfect ones. The heavens may set the stage, but it is your consistent devotion that keeps the flame alive long after the stars have moved on. The moon does not chase the tide, yet the water follows. Jupiter's gravity works the same way. Its pull is quiet, constant, and undeniable. In life, the most magnetic forces are rarely the ones that strain to be noticed. Shaolin teaches the art of fierce detachment. This is not coldness, nor the absence of care. It is the refusal to let desire become desperation. A warrior who clings to victory is distracted. A warrior who releases the outcome moves with clarity and precision. The same truth applies to love. When you chase too hard, your energy scatters. Every action begins to carry the weight of need, and that weight can push away the very thing you hope to draw closer. But when you are grounded, rooted in your own values, anchored in self-respect, your presence becomes its own invitation. You no longer reach, you stand, and others are drawn to the steadiness you hold. There is a story of an old master who planted a tree and tended it with care. He watered it when needed, pruned it when overgrown, but never tugged at its branches to make it grow faster. It will come to me in its time, he said, and it did, full and strong, because it was never forced. This is the nature of true magnetism. It comes from alignment, not pursuit. Jupiter's pull is effortless because it knows its own mass. It does not question its place in the universe. You too can carry this quiet power. Release the chase. Stand in who you are. Let the right connections orbit naturally around the gravity of your calm, unshakable self. In the Shaolin way, service is not weakness, it is strength that asks for nothing in return. The ego thrives on recognition, on being seen and praised. Service dissolves it, because the act itself becomes the reward. In relationships, this principle carries a quiet power. Many try to impress with grand gestures, lavish gifts, dramatic words, public displays. These may stir excitement for a moment, but they fade as quickly as they appear. Actions born from service, however, grow roots. They come from a place of genuine care, without the need to prove worth or demand repayment. There is an old teaching of a monk who swept the temple courtyard each morning before anyone awoke. No one saw him work, no one thanked him, yet for decades the courtyard was always clean. When asked why he did it, he said, "Because it is needed." That is the essence of service, meeting a need because it exists, not because it will be noticed. In love, this might mean listening fully when the other speaks, even if you have heard the story before. It might mean supporting their growth without trying to control its direction. It could be as simple as making tea on a cold morning, not as a transaction but as a quiet offering. The discipline here is to act without the shadow of expectation. When service is pure, it frees both the giver and the receiver. The one who serves is not weighed down by whether they get enough back. The one who receives is not burdened with repayment. Over time, these small unseen acts create a bond far deeper than performance ever could, because they are rooted in truth, and truth endures. Growth without balance can be as dangerous as stillness without movement. Jupiter's energy swells, urging you to reach further, take more, dream bigger. Venus calls you toward beauty, joy, and the sweetness of life. Together they can create harmony, or they can pull you into excess. Shaolin wisdom holds the middle ground. A tree that bends in the wind survives the storm, but a tree without strong roots will still fall. Flexibility without discipline is surrender. Discipline without flexibility is rigidity. The art is to weave them together so that expansion strengthens you instead of scattering your focus. In the monastery, there were days of intense training, where each movement pushed the body beyond its limit. And there were days of stillness, hours spent in silence, holding a single stance or following the breath. The balance between these extremes kept the mind sharp and the spirit steady. Too much movement without stillness, and awareness faded. Too much stillness without challenge, and strength diminish your own life. This balance is found in the routines that keep you grounded. Morning practices that steady the mind, habits that nourish the body, commitments that honor your deeper values. These are the roots. When Jupiter's growth pulls you outward, your roots hold you steady. When Venus's pleasure invites you to enjoy, your roots keep you from losing yourself in indulgence. Let the conjunction inspire you to expand, but expand with awareness. Stretch toward new opportunities, embrace moments of beauty, yet return each day to the rituals that shape your inner strength. Growth is not just about reaching higher, it is about making sure that no matter how far you rise, you can still stand firmly on the ground. It is easy to be captivated by the stars, their movement, their patterns, their rare alignments, that promise meaning, perhaps even guidance. But the sky is far away, and its light takes years to reach us. Your own heart, however, speaks in real time. Shaolin self-mastery begins with this inward gaze. The true map is not drawn in constellations, but in the shifting weather of your emotions. Fear, longing, peace. These are not random visitors, they have cycles, triggers, and tides, just like the moon. To know them is to know yourself. This work is not about judgment. The master does not scold the wind for blowing, he studies its direction and strength, and then adjusts his sail. In the same way, when anger rises, you can observe it without becoming it. When longing calls, you can listen without being dragged. And when peace appears, you can hold it lightly, knowing it will pass and return again. There is a story of a student who traveled far to learn from a renowned teacher. He expected complex secrets and advanced forms. Instead, the teacher gave him a bowl of water and told him to watch it for a year, how the ripples formed, how stillness returned, how outside forces disturbed its surface. Only then did the student understand he had been studying his own mind. Charting your emotional terrain is the same discipline. You record its rivers and mountains, its deserts and storms, not so you can control them, but so you can navigate with wisdom. The stars may suggest the path, but only you can walk it, and to walk it well, you must first know the ground beneath your feet. The mind loves grand moments. It wants the breakthrough, the revelation, the event that changes everything, and a rare cosmic conjunction can feel exactly like that, a turning point written in the stars. But in the end, the power of such a moment is not in its size, it is in what you do after it passes. Shaolin training is built on this truth. A student may succeed in a difficult form for the first time, striking with perfect timing and precision. The master will not once, then simply say, again. The point is not the single victory, it is whether that victory can be repeated, embodied, and woven into every movement thereafter. In life too, the challenge is integration. Inspiration can come suddenly, like a flash of lightning, but it only matters if it lights the path for your next steps. Without action, even the most profound realization fades into memory. The energy from this Venus-Jupiter meeting may open your heart, clarify your desires, or ignite a sense of possibility. But unless those feelings are carried into your daily choices, they will remain as fleeting as a passing cloud. There is an old story of a traveler who found a rare and beautiful seed. For days he admired it, turning it over in his hands, showing it to others. But he never planted it. Years later, it was still the same seed, unchanged, unrealized. Integration is planting the seed. It is taking what you feel in this extraordinary moment and giving it a place to grow in ordinary days. The next breath, the next word, the next act. These are where transformation takes root, and in the Shaolin way, it is always the next moment, not the grand one, that truly defines you. So as the skies align, remember, the true alignment begins within you. The stars can open a doorway, but it is your breath, your choices, and your quiet discipline that decide what passes through it. Let this moment remind you to slow down, to act with kindness, to release what you cannot hold, and to stay present for the life already unfolding in front of you. Carry these teachings into small everyday moments, the way you listen, the way you speak, the way you treat yourself when no one is watching. This is where love deepens and grows strong roots. Over time, these roots will hold you steady through every season, cosmic or otherwise. If this message has spoken to your heart, give it space to live in your daily life, and if you wish to walk further on this path of inner mastery and wisdom, join us here. Like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and let's continue to grow together in strength, stillness, and truth.